These are the worst things about Solo, a Star Wars story. If you want to just hear what was good about the movie, jump to this time code. There may be very minor spoilers for Solo within this video.
Push it!
Coming in at number 5 is the throwaway big boss. In the beginning of the movie, there's some exposition. We are introduced to what should be a big boss. Then after the first few minutes, that big boss is replaced by another big bad. Maybe the original big boss's role will be explored in a prequel to the spin-off. At number 4, it's predictable. I'm not saying Solo is predictable because you know where the characters end up. The potential twists in Solo are relatively easy to spot. They kind of hit you over the head with foreshadowing. Solo doesn't have to be like Westworld intricate, but maybe it could have been a little bit more complex. At number 3, Solo is light on plot. So here's the structure of the Solo movie. Heist, chase, heist, chase, heist, chase, and then a heist, and then the final fight. Now, that might not exactly be correct, but it's roughly right. While Solo looks great visually, it just doesn't have much of a story. If this was a video game, I think people would have the same complaints. It's a little too repetitive without much story. Did I mention it was repetitive? At number 2 are the low stakes. Okay, so you know Han Solo, Lando, and Chewie are safe. Nothing entirely horrible can happen to them in the Solo movie because we know their story thanks to Star Wars. But here's the thing, I've watched Paddington 2. It's a movie about a talking bear living with a family, and you know nothing could really happen to Paddington, but the writing creates suspense and you fear for the lead in a children's movie. That hardly ever happens in Solo. The stakes are so low in Solo, yeah, I heard that too, it's hard to get invested in the movie. Before we get to number 1, let's talk about what worked in Solo. The visual and practical effects were great, without an over-reliance on CG. Then there are some fan service elements that will make any Star Wars fan smile. Han's arc throughout the film was good, if not a little underdeveloped. Paul Bettany's work was really fun, but the best thing about Solo was Lando, played by Donald Glover. He might have been so good that he stole the movie. That's probably why Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy says a spin-off for Lando is in the cards. And the worst thing about Solo is it's just a cog. We now have this giant Star Wars machine. The originals, the prequels, the sequels, and the side stories are all a part of it. These Star Wars stories movies have the opportunity to be different than the Skywalker saga. Rogue One brought a grittiness to Star Wars. Solo does not really bring anything new to the greater Star Wars universe. It's just another cog that fits in with the Star Wars machine. Does that make Solo a bad movie? No. It's not a bad movie, it's actually pretty solid, but when your lead character is a sneaky smuggler, you have some rich material to mine, but Solo really didn't do that. Did you enjoy Solo, a Star Wars story? Let me know what you think of the movie. I'm Aya Zakhtar, and I'll see you online.